Alrighty, well. Thank you for joining me here today. Welcome to the Flipside. I'm Sam, and you have stumbled upon It Belongs in a Museum, to which you should dutifully replied, as David already has, so do you! And that is a series of videos in which we are going to take a couple of games off of my shelves and talk about them. And they're going to be older games, not necessarily old games like chess and checkers and all that kind of stuff, but just older games. The board gaming hobby seems to be infatuated with the cult of the new, and we're trying to battle that in a small way here on Tuesday mornings here in the Pacific Northwest. So that's what we're doing. Now, to make it a little bit fun, we also provide a little bit of a giveaway and a contest while we do this. I'm going to be giving you some clues over the course of our discussion here, and you'll be able to try to guess what games we're going to be talking about on this stream. We'll be talking about two of them, and we'll do one at a time. So we're actually going to have two giveaways, and I'll provide my email so that you can send your shipping information should you be the lucky winner or one of the two lucky winners today. So we'll get to that in just a few moments. David Brownlee is here. Howdy, so do you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Derek S. is here. No fireside chat yesterday. We'll get to that in just a minute. So does your beard. Thanks, Scott, I think. Maybe. Micah, hello, Sam. Hello, everyone. Good to see you, Micah. Good to have you here. Thank you for joining us. All right, so no fireside chat yesterday. Yes, you are correct. All right, so what had happened was, so yesterday, Mondays, I've started going to a Bible study in the mornings at my church, just to try to be a little bit better at doing that. And for some reason, my church loves, or the men in my church love to do things early in the morning. And so this Bible study happens at 5:30 in the morning, which means I got up at 4:45. Well, I actually crawled out of bed at 5. My alarm went off at 4:45. And so that started my day. Go to the Bible study, come back home, 6:30, get in the shower, get out, 7:15, wake my son up, get him ready to go, have to take him, I have to leave the house at 8. Got him to school, and then got back at, well, I went and got some a chai for Jessie, took it to her work, and then got back home at about 9:15. Sat down at about 9:30 to start editing a top 10 that JT and I recorded for the Dice Tower Spring Spectacular, top 10 stupid but good games. And I needed to record that. Well, because of time restrictions, I had to go through that thing, and it was about a 30-minute video altogether, and I had to cut about 8 minutes out of it, so I had to pour over that thing multiple times. Then on top of that, everybody and their mother asks for in-play pictures of the game so that they can see what the game looks like, so that they can know whether or not they're interested in going to check it out. They don't know how much extra time that adds to editing. Anyway, I'm starting to do that more often. So finding a box top, getting all of the game stats, and finding an extra in-play picture that either has to be also attributed to the person who took the picture, or I have to find a picture that doesn't have any copyright restrictions on it. That takes time. Anyway, from about 9:30 to 2:30, I'm editing this video. And by the time 2:30 rolls around, oh yeah, we're supposed to be recording another list tonight with JT. And so I have to put that list together. I have to actually go pick my picks for that list. I have to pick up Aiden from school at 3:30. So then we get back from picking Aiden up 4 o'clock, and we have to go to Ellensburg, which is about a 90-minute drive one way, to go check out a car for Daphne. And so we get out there, we don't get back. We actually get back later than we thought we were. So JT and I actually weren't able to record for one thing led to another, which led to another and another and another, which is why we didn't have Fireside Chat yesterday. The whole thing with Daphne's car has really been weighing upon Jesse's shoulders. It's been something that's really been kind of concerning her, and so I needed to make that happen yesterday. So that meant that there was no Fireside Chat. So I apologize, but yeah. Usually I do a short, and I didn't even have time to do the short yesterday. That's just the way it went yesterday, and I apologize, but that's just how it went. About to go plaid. 2-time to catch up. Be a minute. Oh, look at Eric. Eric's tired. Eric's so tired. He's so. Okay, go take a nap, dude. It's okay. Come back later when you're spry. I'll wait. No, I won't. Anyway, good to have you here, Eric. Thanks for being here. Good to see you too, Philip. So, let's do a little bit of the Fireside Chat stuff. Have you considered asking your channel members to send you pics of their games for use in your videos? Could ease the burden of sourcing pics. No, I haven't. No, I haven't. I guess the reason... Why haven't I? I guess kind of the reason why I haven't done that is because I view myself as a creator, which from my point of view means that I should be a giver, not a taker. And I understand what you're half proposing. And I understand that. You're basically just, I would basically be opening it up to people who wanted to send in pictures if they wanted to. And I totally understand that. So it you know, and it falls in line with the whole it's better to give than to receive and all that kind of stuff. I get that. But the reason I haven't asked that is because I don't want to take from the community, and I don't view the members of the channel as sources of things. I view them as things that I'm supposed to be providing things for. So that's why I haven't asked. How early there is you're asleep, Eric? No, he's actually further ahead than I am. The Z is because I actually sent him a text, actually an email. He emailed yesterday asking if everything was okay. It was a very sweet, it was a very heartwarming email that I got from Eric. I could tell he was very conflicted with sending the email, but it was a very heartfelt email that Eric sent asking if everything was okay. And so I started a reply, and it just kept going. And that's probably I probably shouldn't answer emails at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, because I'm rather verbose at that point. And I probably gave him much more information than he was looking for. In essence, I laid out my entire schedule for the entire week. But that's just the way it is. So his sleepy comment was an editorial on me explaining why there wasn't a Fireside Chat yesterday. So it's basically just Eric being Eric. Let's see. I played a museum game last night until 1:30 in the morning. 7 hours. Didn't quite finish it. Star Wars Rebellion with the expansion honestly felt a bit of a slog. Large battles are too much work. I don't like the movement rule in Star Wars Rebellion where you cannot move leaders out of systems where you have other leaders. Yeah, I'm not going to set up photo shoots for you, but I don't mind taking pics when we already have a game on the table. No, absolutely. And I would never ask, you know, if people want to do that, absolutely fine and dandy. But I'm not going to ask people to do that because that's a lot of work. And I know how much work it is because I used to do it. And I do it for when I'm doing previews for Kickstarter games and so forth. So I know how much work that is. And I'm not going to ask anybody else to do that. Because generally speaking, I can usually find pictures that people are willing to share as long as there's attribution on BGG. And there are some people who say that there's no rights reserved at all, and I can just use those. But even those, I usually try to not always, because I forget sometimes. But even with those, I try to attribute them if I can. So there you have it. Curmudgeon, rite of passage, mascot. Okay, now I see. Remember, YouTube Vibs are immortalized. You thought I was being mean before because release the Kraken. Avert your eyes, Micah. That's funny. Chris says, hi, Sam. Do you know if a 9-year-old would have fun at Dice Tower conventions? Assuming we stick to age-appropriate games, do you think people would want to play with a child? Well, Chris, I can say this. There were other children there. I know at Dice Tower East, there's actually a kid area, I think. I don't know if they still do that anymore. And because I'm really not in, I'm not in the headquarters. I don't hear those conversations and so forth as far as setting up. But that used to be, I'll put it that way, I don't know if it still is, that Dice Tower East had a kid area that you could go kind of sign in your kid, and there would be adults over there that would provide supervision. They would also teach how to play games. But you could also go over there and have, and the kids would be playing with each other, games with each other. And so it's one of those things where I don't think they do that at Dice Tower West, but Dice Tower West is a smaller convention. Do you think that a 9-year-old would have fun? I can't say because it really depends upon there's so many different variables there. I mean, for example, what's your 9-year-old's maturity level? That's one part of the equation. The other parts, multiple parts of the equation, are each of the different people that would sit down at the table with you. What are their individual things? I know that there are definitely people that go that, because I've heard them say it in the past, they definitely don't want to play with games, with kids, which, that's what I say to them. Now, I don't like playing some games with our teenagers here in the house because it turns into an experience that I don't enjoy. So I understand that, but when I go to a convention, I'm in a little bit of a different headspace. I'm not, just because I wouldn't want to do it here at home doesn't mean that I wouldn't be willing to do it at a convention. But I also know that there are a lot of people who would be absolutely willing to play with a kid, even if it was an age-specific or an age-appropriate type game. So I can't really give you a hard and fast yes or no, because there's too many variables at work there. Luke Cyrus is here. What's up, Luke? Good to see you. Sam also can't say because it has been a while since he was 9. It's been quite some time. since I was 9 years old. Yes, that's correct. When I had young children, my me time to play games was after their bedtime, which is why I still go to bed so late. Does your bedtime limit your gaming at all, Sam? Yeah, it does, because basically Jess is pretty much done by 10, and because she's done at 10, I'm usually done at 10 as well, because she gets up early, I have to get up early, and we're both just kind of, we're spent by that point. Often, because we have older kids, we go to bed before they do. And they know the rules, they know the times that they're supposed to be going to bed, and that's largely done on the honor system. And there's only been a couple of times where we've caught them not adhering to those things, but generally speaking, yes, it hampers it, because after 9 o'clock, my brain's mush. I'm done, and I just want to veg out to something. Once I figure out how to view chat from previous streams, you all are in for it. Not really. Hands are full with Sam's flaws. Yep, they certainly are many. Ending menu of imperfections. A never-ending menu of imperfections that even a Turing machine couldn't solve. Wow! Dude, somebody didn't take his medication this morning, Bushman. And get a haircut, you hippies. Good luck with that, Sam. I did get a haircut this morning, as a matter of fact. I gave myself a haircut. Thank you again, Sam, for cafe. You are welcome, Odonata Creations. One thing, that copy of the game did not come with a rules or instructions. You can find them on BGG. So I'm glad you're here so that I can tell you that. You can go to Cafe's entry on BGG, and in the files section, there's an English rules. That's what I did. I printed out, I had to print out rules for my copy because those copies did not come with English instructions. So I apologize that that wasn't in there, but you can get them. When I was 9, Monopoly was still made out of wood. That's not true, Luke. It was stone. I believe most people who have had kids understand and would be more than willing. That is correct, Philip. Generally speaking, there's going to be people who are going to be willing. There's also going to be people who are not. So I can't definitively say, will your 9-year-old have fun? I don't know. Yeah. I get a feeling you guys don't even adjust your sleep time on holidays. Well, here's the thing. Holidays, they had English halfway through the rule book. Oh, okay. Well, there you have it. Really? I didn't realize that. Huh. I just assumed that it didn't have English in it, and I just printed them out. Wow. Thanks for pointing that out. Dumb. Holidays, yes. Sleep schedule doesn't really change that much for holidays or conventions, really. Jess, she pops up in the morning. And I mean, there is like no ramp up time at all. She wakes up 1,000 miles an hour. And sometimes we get like sleep in by an hour, half an hour, maybe 45 minutes, but beyond that, it doesn't really happen. And it's not good, even at conventions, it's not good to stay up to all hours of the morning and then deprive yourself of sleep. You're meeting new people who don't know your eccentricities, which are amplified when you are sleep deprived. So I've always found it very needful so that I can be the best version of myself at conventions. I need sleep. So I generally try to keep the same sleep patterns no matter where I am, whether it's a convention or some other kind of vacation or holiday or whatever it might be. If I am lacking sleep, I am not the best version of myself. When my kids were 9, they would often beat me at complex games, but not all players are good around kids, so the conversation might get dicey. You're correct. Translation, he's even grumpier without sleep. That is correct. That is absolutely correct. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started with our first look at an older game. Now, again, we say that older games are arbitrarily put at 5 years old or older. So some of these might not be as old as you want them to be, or were even maybe thinking they would be, but they are going to be older games. This first one hails from 10 years ago, 2015. Well, I'm not going to give that clue. But clues, the first clue is 2015 is the year that it comes from. It was produced in 2015. And then I give you a couple of mechanisms. A couple of mechanisms are open drafting, dice rolling. Open drafting, dice rolling. Those are the two mechanisms as a clue. Open drafting, dice rolling, and then the year is 2015. The first person to guess correctly will have the opportunity to receive a gift, or if you have already received a gift from the Flipside, you can pick somebody else in the chat to receive your gift for you. But that is totally up to you. All right, Blood Rage. Nope, that is not correct. TI4, thank you, Eric. One of these days, that's going to be the winning guess. Tiny Epic Galaxies. Nope. Clank. Pirates of the Seven Seas. Now, that's a good pick. I actually enjoy that game. I have it on my shelf, too. But no, that's not correct. Dice Throne. No. Dice Forge. No. Galaxy. No. Good try, though. Thanks for the answers, everyone. Seems like we would be able to find people willing to play family weight games with us. What I was worried about was only playing 2-player games with my son the whole time. That probably won't happen. You'll find people that are willing to play games with you. If I'm there, I'll be willing to play a game with you. Star Wars Star Battle. No, that's not correct, but oh my goodness. That's only 10 years old? Are you sure? Shadows over Normandy, Cthulhu Mythos Call number 1. Actually, no, that's not a correct guess. But Shadows over Normandy is a very fun game. Sagrada. Nope, that is not correct, sir. But good for you guessing a game that isn't TI4. Voyages of Marco Polo. Voyages of Marco Polo. Wow, you guys were typing that at exactly the same time, probably. One was slightly faster than the other one, though. Adventure in. No. Rome. Rise of Power. Well, well, well. I guess Jeff is our winner because Rome, Rise to Power is the correct game that we are talking about. Wow, Luke, language. I know it's actually talking about a donkey. It has a donkey on the cover, but wow, Luke, language. Man, geez. It's a family-friendly channel, dude. What's wrong with you? Steampunk Rally. No, actually, that's a very fun game. But no, that's not correct. I don't think I own Steampunk Rally anymore. But Rome, Rise to Power is the correct one. So Jeff C. Jeff C., you are the winner. If you wish to receive a surprise, go ahead and send me your shipping information at flipsideobg@gmail.com. If you would like to pick someone else to be the winner, you may do that as well. they will need to send their information to flipsideobg@gmail.com. But you will have to make that determination on your own. Now, I'm turning the box around because now the back is correctly put out there. Anyway, Rome, Rise to Power is from Golden Egg Games. Elad Goldstein is the designer. And if you look at the entry for this game, it touts itself as a 4X game, kind of, because it says expand the Roman sovereignty through military campaigns, exploit riches, and supply the forum's markets. But then it kind of diverts and it says exhibit your power by offering the best shows in the games and extend. These are not regular 4X games terms. Extend your political inspiration. I mean, I guess maybe, but extend is more like expand. So it kind of tries to tout itself as a 4X game. Yeah, not really going to go there. But you do have area majority influence. You do have some dice rolling. You do have some open drafting, some set collection, and it's based on the Rise to Power system. And we've designed an innovative dice placement system that enhances players' decisions while reducing the luck factor. The system uses a combination of special action cards that break the rules of play. By changing these cards to build your unique deck, you will create a personalized gaming experience that will ever evolve with you and your gaming group. So take that for what it's worth. But let's go ahead and get down to the table, and we will take a look at what we've got going on here. So we'll do that, and then we'll do this. All right, so Rome Rise to Power is right here. And as you can see on the back side, so great empires are not maintained by timidity, which is a quote from Tacitus, Emperor Tacitus. So anyway, you have this, you have a basic idea of what's going on over here with your setup and so forth. Ages 13 and above, 2 to 4 players, about 60 minutes. The game also does have a round limit of 5. Now, it's been a long time since I played this game, so you'll forgive any lapses in how the game works. But so here you have, talks about setup, gameplay. So you're going to roll your power dice and determine your turn order, placement of power dice, resolution of power dice, scoring, and then cleanup. The Rome is played over 5 rounds, each round comprising each of those 5 phases. And then it gives you some idea on how each of those things go out. So there you have it. It gives you an idea. And then there's some explanations of different powers back here as well. These are what the actual dice are going to be set upon. And there are military, economy, and I don't know what that is. Military, economy, bom, bom, bom. What does this say? Place it in one of the two. Interesting. I was looking for a military track, Senate track. Okay, so there it is. And then economy. All right, so trade, military, and Senate. Ooh. There we go. Then you have the board, which again isn't large, which is one of the cool things about the game, I think. Then you have different tracks over here where your abilities are tracked. This is the round tracker. This is turn order, I believe. And then you have victory points over here on the side and over here as well. So a little bit of area control going on in here. The pieces, I do remember the pieces that were you know, back in the day. These were pretty cool pieces. They're just wooden, but you know, the Triumph arcs, you know, known for in Roman time, but these are just wooden, and they're all in the different player colors. That's pretty cool. You also have a first player token right here. That's pretty neat. It's not too large. I don't really like first player tokens that are bigger than that, but these are just, you have a round marker that's in here, and then you have other things that, player markers that you can do for score and so forth. Whoa. And then you have these dice that are used and placed, which, again, this is going to be one of those things. One of the reasons that I like doing these is because it gives me a look back into the game that I might not otherwise take. But these dice are just regular six-sided dice, but they're in the player colors. And I usually like dice that are a little bit more rounded edges than this, but these are pretty chonky, nice. They're not, you know, they're not custom dice, which I like custom dice a lot better, but they're still pretty good. Come on, get down there. There we go. And then you have a bunch of these cards in here, and these are the different cards that we're going to have. These are different areas that, oh, that one goes there. Different areas in the board here. And these are linen finished cards, pretty good card stock, especially for the day and age that they came from, you know, 10 years ago. These would probably still be considered pretty nice cards today. I mean, they're not huge, they're not very thick, but they're also not bad either. Definitely have that linen finish. Artwork, isn't that great, but it also isn't bad either, in my opinion, of course. Art is subjective, but this doesn't throw me off. Like sometimes artwork will throw me off. This one doesn't. All right, so those cards, and then these cards over here. We have more Lambus bread. Vicarious, Tribune. So again, just more artwork, and the artwork, like I said, isn't bad. Different things, armies, different kinds of shows that you're putting on and so forth. So lions, tigers, elephants, bears, you get it. Yeah, see, told you there were tigers. Gladiators. So, put those over there. I wonder what, yeah, these are supposed to go over here. Ding, 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 ding. I was going by the backs. So this is a little bit of a grayer back. This has a little bit of a bluish back to it. So put that over there. But that is all of the stuff that comes in Rome Rise to Power. These kind of go on here like that, and then that just goes right there just like that. All right, so let's see. Who am I sending stuff to? Expel this from the collection. I'll take it. Thank you, sir. You're welcome, Jeff. All right. Well, just send me your shipping information. Pretty please. Hey, Sam, how are you, man? I am doing well. I would love to pronounce your screen name, but oh my goodness, I can't. Is Bosni Samzarminividis Podusi? I probably murdered that. KMA 2nd edition is actually a war game, a card game on tactical combat in the Eastern Front, 1944. Wow. One player plays the Germans and the other the USSR. Ah, that is not the game I was thinking about. Not even close. 2015 was surprisingly short on Viking-themed games. Well, again, this is not a Viking-themed game, so stop supposing that I'm talking about some Viking game for once. Actually, it's a pretty safe bet. One tiny 4X game. You know it's an old game when it fits easily on a mid-sized gaming table. That is correct. Smaller footprints used to be, are kind of a thing of the past at this point. Ken Albert is here. What's up, PK? Good to see you. Alexander Meldrum is here. I don't know if I can tell the difference between good and bad cards. Sam roast a little bit. Lost cities for the sake of good old times. It is glorified Reco. That's all it is. Let's see. Don't do it, Jeff. He's just going to send you a game with Latin instructions. I could do that. I probably could. That's funny. All right. So, Jeff, go ahead and send me an email with your shipping information in there, and we will go ahead and get to our next game. Our next game is just a couple of years younger than Rome Rise to Power. This one came out in 2018. 2018. So this one is 7 years old. And so that's your first clue. Second one is going to be mechanisms are push your luck and set collection. Push your luck and set collection. Those are your two mechanisms for guessing which is the next one. Svartsen Janwager Pedersen, what's up? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Sorry, had to down. Oh, dang! Right off the bat. Dude, let some other people win, Luke. All right, fine. We're going to put a bunch of stuff up here on the table because I actually own a lot of this stuff. So Luke is correct. Camel Up Quacks. Those are all good things. But Luke won. All right. He was right out of the gate. He had the right answer. Fireball Island, the Curse of Volcar. Now, this is a little bit because this is not the original version of Fireball Island. This is from Restoration Games. And Restoration Games is all about taking old nostalgic games from yesteryear, revamping their rules, and republishing them with the help of the original designers. It's not like they just go out there and, although, I don't know, they might purchase the rights. But as far as I know, they include the original designers. As far as I can remember, if they're able to do so, and they revitalize the rule set and then re-release the game with a little bit of a more modern feel to it. And so that's what we're going to be doing. Luke must have hidden a cam in Sam's studio. Yeah, maybe so. Luke, you suck! That's awesome. Legend of the Cherry Tree that blossoms every 10 years? Luke, what are you doing? Didn't even get done typing the name of a game. I know, right? Fireball Island, that ain't a game, it's an activity. No, this is a game. This is definitely a game. All right, so the reason I have so much here is because I do have a lot of expansions. So I've got the Last Adventurer expansion. I've also got the Oh, geez, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Bees expansion. I've got that. We also have the Wreck of the Crimson Cutlass, which kind of expands the board a little bit, as you can see on the back of the box there. So they do have a lot of different expansions for this game that do a lot of different things. We're only going to open this box, though, because there's plenty of stuff to go through in here, and we're going to go ahead and get to it. What? Which is next? This is a good game. It works best with a couple of the expansions. Yeah, I agree with that. Luke says that this person can have my prize. All right. Well, thank you, Luke. So is Bosni Samzar Minevidis Podusi? I'm sorry. That's the best I can do. But you are the winner because Luke gave you a prize. So you need to send me your shipping information at flipsideobg@gmail.com. All right? Send that to me. And hate that the box for this was so flimsy. All right, we'll talk about it. I don't have the spider expansion, but I heard it doesn't add much. Neither does the Cutlass expansion. The Cutlass expansion adds a little bit, but yeah, it's pretty much just whether or not you like it is really going to add or not add to it. So let's go ahead and get down to the table. Boom, boom, boom. Boom. Boing. Boing. All right. So here we go. Did you play this game when you were a kid, Sam? No, I didn't actually. But so here we go. All right, so we open up the game, and first of all, you can tell I'm not very good at keeping things in order once we get on there. So I do have, as you saw, I do have card sleeves on this, which is something I don't normally do, but I am separating them all right now. Well, most of them at least. Oh, dang it. See? There we go. Let me see. Are these? Yeah, flip that one around. And that's good to go. Put that right there. And then this comes out. And then we have all of these things. So let me just go ahead and might as well as I'm going through them. So you have some cards that are going to be cards that you use for movement, but they also have a special ability at the bottom that you usually can do after you've moved. So you have to do this first, and then you can do something at the bottom down there. But then you also have Cataclysm cards that are in the deck when it flips over. Or rather, when you use this card, you're going to do this, but you're also going to do this, which means that you drop all the fireballs that are in the Scar into the Volcar, and then you discard this and to the Cataclysm tracker. And once a certain number of Cataclysms have happened, then you know something bad happens. But basically, you have these are cards that give you movement, and you have a hand of them. And you get to choose how much you want to move and so forth and so on. So that's what these do. Then you also have these guys, which are basically item cards. And the item cards help you do different things. Jetpacks will allow you to move a little bit further, but you can't stop in an unstable place. VIP passes. So you play before you're moving, and it says do not stop on unstable spaces this turn, which you have to stop on unstable spaces. Unstable spaces are places like bridges and whatnot. You have a tote bag that says you do not lose any treasures. Whenever you fall down, or whenever you're knocked over, you have to lose treasures. But if you have this tote bag, and you get knocked down, you don't actually lose any. A snow globe, these are just like little trinkets and stuff like that you pick up, and they give you different abilities as you're on the mountain. doing things. So that's your item deck. You have your movement deck, and then you have these other snapshot things that you have at your disposal. And basically, if you are able to stop somewhere and take a picture, then you take a picture of it, and it's going to be worth 5 points at the end of the game for you, and so forth and so on. So it's pretty cool. So that's that. Then you have, let me just get everything out of here so that I can actually, the actual rule book here is not very difficult. Really, this is a setup, and then it's basically just a pamphlet. It's not even an actual book. So the rule set is pretty simple. We'll put that down here, and then I want to go ahead and set this up because this is one of the coolest things about this game is how it looks set up. So we're going to go ahead and do that. So this is like a plastic, molded plastic. So it's, you know, you might say, well, this doesn't look very nice. Well, it's kind of pretty cool, man. Just saying. There's more cards in here. We got to get those. Put them out here. More snapshots. I'm going to put that over there. All right, so we have one side of the board, and we're going to kind of scoot this over a little bit. Then you have another side of the board, and then you have one that's kind of in the middle, like so. And that's not set correctly, so it's got to be, oh, wait a minute. Yep, there we go. So this is the entire board set up, and then you notice that there's like little areas down here that are, where did they go? Oh, I bet you they're in here. Yep. So, you know, it has a little opening there under the board. And so they have these things here that are just like standees that will basically just cover the entrance. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it'll be something like this, where it is still kind of picturesque, but it, you know, kind of just provides a closure to that thing. Then you have other things like this right here. That's one of those areas that's kind of dangerous. Danger, Will Robinson. Where's the other one? There's three of them. Oh, this is the ladder. This ladder goes right here. Bink. Just like that. Then you have Volcar, which is up here like this, and he just kind of sits up there. And so at certain and then you have the heart of Volcar, which is right there. And so at certain points down, where is the scar? Oh yeah, the scar is. So you have these guys that are going to sit into this thing, and whenever a cataclysm occurs, you're going to add one of them. You're going to add one of those things to the marbles that you roll. But every once in a while, you're going to be able to basically turn Volcar to where these are spots where marbles are going to roll out. And so if you have people that are like out here, you can basically rotate this guy to determine which way they're going to come out of. So I'm just going to put this like this so you can see, but you'll take the amount of where is it? I can't remember. Oh yeah, down here. So the marbles are going to be added to the scar down here. Bing, bing, bing. And so at certain points, like you saw some of those cards, it said take the marbles out of the scar and throw them down the gullet. And so you're going to basically take these things and you're going to, they're going to roll all over the place. And it's possible that you're going to knock people and And if you do, then they have to drop their treasure tokens, because that's part of the set collection that's going on here. But these trees are in here, and they're blocking the way, and they'll protect you sometimes if the ball rolls down your direction and so forth. So it's just a very aesthetic looking game, and it's one of those things that I really enjoy about the game is how aesthetic it is. So then you have your people that are going to be going on here, like so, bing. And this one looks a little bit like me, which is kind of funny. So you have people that are like running around the different parts of the island. I just think it's a pretty neat game. And you know, as you are rolling these different things, it's going to knock people off and so forth and so on. I just think it's a really fun game. You play one of these cards and you can move, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, whatever. So it's basically use one of your cards and move. But I really think this is a fun game, and it's super aesthetically pleasing. And it's one of those games where you come at it and you enjoy it or you don't. Basically, you have these cards here that tell you at the end of the game how much points you're going to get if you have the set collection aspect of these different treasure tokens, and how many points you get for that, how many points you get from snapshots. If you get a lucky penny or the heart of Volcar, how many points you're going to be worth. So you basically have to get to the helipad and jump into the helicopter before the end of the game. And if you're in the chopper at the end of the game, you get to go away. But and whomever makes it out adds up their points, and whoever has the most points is the winner. That's basically what you're talking about here. But this is a very fun game, very tongue-in-cheek, very take that, very much one of those kinds of games where if you're playing him with like younger kids, they will probably lose their gumption, and if you're too mean to them. But it's just one of those things where it's a very fun game. Definitely, as I mentioned earlier, will have a nostalgia factor to for some people as they are playing the game and so forth and so on. But it's just a really neat, fun, cheeky kind of game that is a lot of fun. And like Luke said earlier, a lot of the expansions do a lot to really make it much more fun on top of that. So that is that. See, that was even the helipad side. That one should have come over here, and then this one goes over there like so. But anyway, it says on the back side, Volcar side, helipad side. But anyway, really fun game, and we need to get this back to the table. I think I might take this weekend to our game group at the church, because I think there might be some people that will enjoy playing this. That's that. Let's go back up here. If the prize is rotten potato, I would like it to be sent to Tom. No, it's not a rotten tomato. It's usually something that's pretty fun. How many restoration games do you own, Sam? Love that they restore these oldies. I've got a whole bunch of unmatched. I also have Fireball Island, and what else do I have from? Oh, I've got Return to Dark Tower. I've got this. I've got a whole bunch of unmatched, and that. And then I've got a couple of other games that I can't remember the names of, and I'm not seeing them right now. But I know they come from restoration games, but they're like card games. Let me just see here. Yellow, yellow, yellow. Blue, 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 blue. Red, 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 red. So those are that. These are these. All right. Then this. All right. And that. So let's do that. Then this. Might do this. Okay. Like that. Let's put this back on there. All right, let's see here. Oh, yes, Thunder Road as well. Yes, yes, yes. Sorry. Thunder Road as well, yep. I don't have Downforce. Now these all come in here. Ah, come on, get in there. Let's see here, what else? Ever played Tornado Rex? No, I have not played Tornado Rex. Comic-Con is coming up. Do you run it, Luke? No, Luke does not run it, that I'm aware of at least. It's run by Daryl Wilkins, aka Scruffy. But we will be at Spring Comic-Con this year, so I'm looking forward to that. Boom. All right. Volcar comes off. And I've got to figure out, again, how all of this goes together. We'll figure it out. All right. Let's see. This game takes a lot of setup and takedown. Nah, not a whole lot. Setting it up and tearing it down is a lot easier than I just made it look. I was doing a little bit of housekeeping as I was putting it back, you know, tearing it back down. So that's why it took a little bit longer. But the setup and teardown is not that bad on this game. You should see my blinged out cars. I picked up the Fast and Furious Micro Machine cars to replace the plastic F1 cars. That's cool. Do you sleep at Comic-Con, Sam, or go home for the night? The last time that we went to Comic-Con, they brought us in as a speaker. So we had the speaker suite, so we went ahead and just slept there. There have been a couple of times where I've just gone up for the day and then gone back home that night, though. So it just depends. Maybe play Tales to Amaze on the channel. Good solo mode and so much to choose from. I haven't got Tales to Amaze yet, but it's one of those things where I wanted to, I just didn't pull the trigger. Summer Comic-Con is all ages if you're interested in traveling to the middle of Washington State. Spring one is more appealing. There you have it. All right, well, we're pretty much done. We usually try to keep these to about an hour. So winners, what do you think about Tashkalar? I have not played Tashkalar, so I wouldn't be able to speak intelligently on it. Anyway, if you are a winner, so Jeff C. and Bosny, I'm just going to go ahead and leave it at that. Go ahead and send me an email at flipsideobg@gmail.com. Make sure you give me your shipping address information, and we'll get those out to you by the end of the week, or at least before the next. It belongs in a museum. Thank you for joining me here, though. I appreciate you. We'll see you guys and gals on the flip side. Take care.